Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Good afternoon again. My name is Madison Duncan. I work on the marketing team for the Tulane School of Professional Advancement. Today we are going to be discussing our Humanities and Social Sciences programs. We have the program director, Dalila, here, as well as Chris Lloyd, who is an admissions representative. They are experts on the subject matter. I'm just here to facilitate. So if you have any questions along the way, feel free to ask those questions either via the chat box, which should be at the ribbon at the bottom of your screen. There's also a Q&A portal. We will do our best to answer all of those questions at the end of the webinar. If you do have a question that doesn't get answered, we have your email address and we can reach out to you directly. We'll also be sharing the contact information for our admissions team. So with that, here are some of the things that we will be talking about today. First, we're going to do a brief introduction of who we are, what the School of Professional Advancement is, as well as getting to meet both of the speakers. Like I said, we'll be discussing the Humanities and Social Sciences program today, how we can support you as students so you're successful in all of your endeavors at the School of Professional Advancement, how to apply. We'll do a brief overview of the tuition and financial aid, and then, like I said, at the end, we'll have a few moments for questions and answers. So feel free to ask those along the way through the chat box or the Q&A portal, and we will answer those at the end. So now I am going to introduce the speakers. I will let Dalila and Chris speak for themselves, but this is who will be talking to us today. We have Dalila, who is the program director, as well as Chris Lloyd, who is an admissions associate. So Dalila, if you would like to introduce yourself and then hand it over to Chris, and we can go from there.
Yep. Thanks, Maddie. Hi, everyone. My name is Dalila Ahmedabasic, and I'm a professor of practice in Humanities and Social Sciences here at SOPA. I'm also the program director for the Humanities and Social Sciences programs, as well as a coordinator for prior learning assessment. I've been at SOPA for about a year now, yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing your questions in a little bit.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Lloyd. I'm an admissions associate here at Tulane SOPA. I work closely with our students who are applying, as well as students who are looking at getting into our programs. So if you're in the New Orleans area, you might see me out and about at some of our public events. But if you drop by our Elmwood campus, you can also drop in, learn a little bit more about our programs, meet with some of our faculty and staff, as well as support staff like me. Our main focus is in giving you more information about these programs. Dalila is a content expert for the fields of humanities and social sciences. So we're going to cover some of the general topics about SOPA. We're going to go through, talk a little bit about SOPA's history, and then we're going to move on and get into that more content-heavy discussion. So a little bit about SOPA. So in April 2017, we refreshed and relaunched as School of Professional Advancement. So if you're in the New Orleans area or you have any context for our history, you may have known us as School of Continuing Studies, or a little bit further back as University College. When Tulane School of Professional Advancement was first started, though, we started offering classes in 1886 as a way to show our commitment to adult learners and provide an opportunity for students to get access to high-quality education. So many of our students are coming from either a professional background where they're looking to change careers, where they're coming from another field where they're trying to find an interaction between these two different fields. So using these humanities or social sciences coursework as either a foundational element or as that additional element to their professional goals. So we offer bachelor's degree programs across humanities and social sciences. And then for our other programs, we also offer certificate level programs in both graduate and post-baccalaureate, as well as for graduate level. Today, we're going to primarily focus on the Humanities and Social Sciences undergraduate program offerings. So Dalila is going to talk through a little bit about what that coursework entails, what the sort of career outcomes you have, and those related bits of information. So moving a little bit more into SOPA's direct offerings, our bachelor's programs are going to have an on-campus component. They're not entirely online yet. Our graduate and certificate level programs for other fields of study are entirely online. But for the bachelor's level, you're going to be doing a combination of that online or in person. So if you're someone where you prefer being able to have that in-class experience, you can set up your classwork to where you're getting that one-on-one time with your professor. And if you're someone where you have a difficult schedule, say you're working a full-time job and those online or evening classes are really going to be the primary way for you to get towards your educational goals, then that's going to be something that we're going to be able to help facilitate. For most of our classes that are going to be offered at our Elmwood campus, they're going to start at 6 p.m., run till about 8:50 p.m. They're going to be once a week. So you can do like a Monday class, and then a Wednesday class and something else. And then there's even Saturday classes offered. So you could go in Saturday morning, knock out one of your classes, and within that session, be able to get you a little further along towards your degree without disrupting your normal schedule. Most of our programs are going to have that combination of online and on campus, but for the bachelor's level, you really should be planning for those on-campus classes. So a little overview of the program is the Humanities and Social Sciences programs are interdisciplinary. So what that means is students have the ability to be able to take coursework in other programs. So I'm actually going to turn this over to Dalila so that she can discuss some of those nuances of the program and really talk to you about that skill development and coursework that you're going to get out of this.
Thanks so much, Chris. So as Chris mentioned, the programs in humanities and social sciences are very interdisciplinary, and they're also highly individualized. So the students have the opportunity to explore social relationships, practices, and structures from very different perspectives, theoretical or conceptual perspectives. And in this process, you will really strengthen your critical thinking skills and your communication skills, as well as your writing skills. So in the process, you're gaining some very useful and practical skills that are applicable to professional development as well. And so next I will be talking about, I'm going to start talking about a Master of Liberal Arts program. So we do have a master's program in liberal arts. This program is the courses for this program are primarily on campus, and they take place on the Uptown campus, but we're starting to add some online options as well. And the Tulane MLA program exposes students to a range of reflections in the human experience, and again, from very different academic perspectives. Students will also develop an individualized plan of study. So you would meet with the program director for the MLA program, who is Rana Berger. So you would meet with her to develop a plan of study that meets your academic interests or your professional goals. The requirements for the MLA include 10 courses, including a capstone, which is the culminating experience for the program. The course offerings include classes in history, literature, philosophy, political science, and sociology. And students also have access to all of the liberal arts courses on campus. So while you're required to take 2 MLA courses, you're also able to take graduate level courses in, for example, anthropology or English or other departments on campus as well. And then our undergraduate programs, we have Bachelor's of Arts in Humanities and also Bachelor's in Social Sciences. And as a humanities student, you will engage in an interdisciplinary study of complementary fields. These would include language and literature, philosophy, religious studies, or visual and performing arts. Undergraduate students majoring in the social sciences will explore the cultural and economic, political, and historical context of societies, with courses available in anthropology, geography, Latin American studies, sociology, political science, and other related fields. The academic experience for these majors includes requirements as for I think all of our undergraduate majors is to take 120 credits, which include 30 credits in the major. So both of the majors require 10 courses, and 6 of those courses are at a 3000 level or above, so more advanced classes in humanities or social sciences. And then because the degrees are so interdisciplinary and because you're developing really important and applicable skills, graduates will build a foundation of skills and knowledge that are really applicable and useful to a range of careers. So liberal arts graduates have continued their careers in business or public relations, education, public policy, arts, nonprofit management, consulting, and also working as a writer for a variety of organizations. So that's just an example of the different fields that you could enter or advance in after earning these degrees. And Chris will now talk more about student services and support that are available for our students.
So one of the unique offerings that I found during my time at SOPA is that the student support services here and the success services are very accessible for students. So our academic advisors do appointments in person at both Uptown and the Elmwood campus, as well as teleconferencing through the Zoom platform, phone calls, and email outreach. So you've got a lot of different opportunities to engage with your academic advisors. And what I found is that also extends out to the faculty that you're working with. So at the graduate level, you have an opportunity to engage closely with the program director as well as the faculty who are teaching your coursework. So from my experience getting a master's degree, I didn't necessarily have that opportunity outside of my major advisor, where I had to schedule this far in advance, and it was more onerous to actually get access to that support. Whereas from what I've seen here, students have a wide variety of times and opportunities to engage with their professors. The professors are often coming from a background where they're active practitioners within the field, but they have experience as an academic professor. So they have that ability to give you perspectives from that private and public, as well as that academic perspective. So when you're walking out from either your primary coursework or from those interactions with those professors and with those faculty members, you're getting an opportunity to really start to develop what your pathway is forward. And part of that engagement is that we're looking for opportunities to really be able to expedite your time here and also to be able to enrich your time here. The expedite part is we offer credits for prior learning. So if you're someone where you're coming out of a professional background, say, where you've been working as a service provider for a community organization for a number of years, where you've been working in writing, editing, these highly intensive fields that relate to the MLA program, to humanities, to social sciences, to where you're getting an opportunity to use that prior learning experience towards credits. Typically, the way this is structured is that for your undergraduate coursework, you'll take a portfolio class where you can use that class as an opportunity to earn credits for that prior experience by composing a portfolio that's a demonstration of those skills that you learned. So if you've had these certifications, these skills, these opportunities through your volunteer or service work, it's something that can translate into credits that will help to get you through your coursework faster and can save you money in the long run. Building off of that topic on helping to sort of save you money and be able to get you the experience that you want without necessarily that high price tag, you're also looking at where you have, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there. You'll have to forgive me. So let me focus more on the student enrichment piece then. The student enrichment piece, for me, what I've seen is the career advising. Cynthia Washington leads our career services. What Cynthia does is she meets with students throughout their academic career here to try to help them to prepare for their time after SOPA. So what some of that means is getting you connected with internships, helping you find out about service learning opportunities within the greater New Orleans area, helping you with resume workshops, connecting you with employers, helping to connect you with job fairs or those opportunities where you can demonstrate your skills and get in with an employer. So some of that is meeting with large industry employers here, with the city, with some of the network of universities and communities that we have here. And that network of adults and Tulane alumni extends throughout the Gulf Coast region. So whether you're in the New Orleans area or outside of it, that Tulane cachet has name recognition outside of the region. So what you're getting is an opportunity to get a high quality education at an affordable rate with many student support services. So moving on to the application process. Our application right now is open for the fall of 2019 all the way through summer of 2020. What that means is you've got a little bit of time if you're trying to prepare for this fall semester, but you also have more time towards those spring and summer semesters to learn about program offerings, get an opportunity to meet with an advisor, reach out to admission staff or program directors, learn more about the content of the program you're interested in before you make that commitment. The application sits online. So if you visit sopa.tulane.edu, which is our main website, you'll see a green apply button in there. What you'll do from there is you'll start an account. You'll submit all of your academic information, so the schools that you went to, as well as some of these other required items if you're applying towards a graduate program, and then you'll submit your application fee. So typical fee is going to be $40 for undergraduate, $50 for graduate. For those of you that are attending with us today, you qualify for an application fee waiver. The other items that you'll have to provide for us are a clear photo of a government-issued ID, as well as your transcripts. Transcripts are able to be sent both digitally and physically. So if you're coming from somewhere where the school can only do that digital send, we can get them pretty immediately by getting them sent to soparecords@tulane.edu. And then you can also, if you happen to have that hard copy sealed transcript with the registrar's signature on it, you can deliver those in person or the school can send them. If you're going to be sending unofficial transcripts, we can use those towards conditional reviews, but you're definitely going to need that final official transcript in order to actually enroll for courses. So the application deadlines that we're coming up on right now are undergraduate, you're looking at an August 15th deadline, and graduate, you're looking at a deadline of August 1st. So what this means is your application needs to be full and complete by that date. So if you're requesting transcripts or you have any of those other required items like a personal statement, a resume, you're going to need to provide those by that date. We'll work with you if you submit before that date and the school is trying to get the transcripts to us by that point. But really, you should be planning for those August 15th and August 1st deadlines if you're looking at the fall application. For spring, the deadline for graduate is set to December 15th and undergraduate to January 1st. Summer application right now is set to May 1st for graduate and August 15th for undergraduate. So for that fall deadline, you've still got about 6 weeks or so to get everything together. So if you already have those conditional transcripts, you don't really have to hold up on your application until you have those final transcripts, because you can start the process even if you only have pieces. Getting the application started is really the hardest part, and then getting that transcript request in. So if you already have some of those pieces and can get moving on the application, it's going to be beneficial because you can get an application decision sooner, and it'll also let you be able to start structuring what classes do I want to take, and being able to do things like meet with an advisor or program director so that you can get some of those student support services before the semester actually kicks off. So one last piece that we wanted to really touch on is this tuition and financial aid piece. So as of fall 2019 and spring 2020, undergraduate tuition is going to be $474 a credit hour. You will have some fees associated with it for undergraduate. Typically, that's just going to be your application fee. And then for graduate, you're going to be looking at fees for if you're doing any prior learning portfolios, as well as if you are using any classes that have associated lab or activity fees. So in general, $474 a credit hour plus a couple of $100s in fees is going to be the normal cost. And then at the graduate level, you're looking at a cost of $1,039 per credit hour. For students who are going to need financial aid, SOPA does offer financial aid to help pay for those educational costs for students who qualify. So undergraduate and graduate are going to both be covered under that. What I would recommend is once you're getting close to that point of submitting an application, or to once you've started it and are awaiting that decision, to reach out to us to get that opportunity to talk with a financial aid advisor. Ms. Kenley Fight is one of our admissions representatives over here at Tulane SOPA, and she's a wonderful resource for financial aid questions. She'll be able to help you figure out how much financial aid you have left, help walk you through the process, and then also see what types of aid you qualify for. So in addition to federal grants and federal loans, we also offer discounts for active duty military, veterans, teachers, and Orleans and Jefferson Parish employees. So for people working for, say, City of New Orleans, for Sewer and Water Board, for active duty service members, or for our police and firefighters and first responders, there's great opportunities to reduce your cost. So for some of you, if you do have companies that also do tuition matching, that's a way to reduce your cost overall as well. One more piece that is also useful is that for Tulane employees, you do also qualify for a reduced tuition as well. So for those of you who may be an employee watching, it's very easy to take that next step towards Tulane SOPA. So going back to those credits for prior learning, they're really a great way to reduce your tuition and leverage that professional experience to get through your coursework quicker. Many of our students are adults with families, with jobs, with obligations that are really eating away at their time that they can put towards school. So being able to knock off 3, 6 credits, or for that undergraduate level, up to 24 credits, that's huge. You're knocking out a few semesters. So, you know, with an average course load for a working student in undergraduate of between 6 and 12 credits, that's a great opportunity to get between 1 and 4 semesters taken off of your time to completion. So what that would be is you'd be looking at things like, what sort of work experience do you have that translates towards this field? Do you have community service that you've done that translates into this field? Or do you have military training? So military training, if you have those certifications, or say you have that joint services transcript and you've done all of this very detailed communications coursework, or things that have that humanities and social sciences interaction, that's an opportunity to speed up the process for you. The graduate students receiving up to 6 credits is a huge piece. That's a semester that you can take off of your total time to completion. And it also can give you an opportunity to be able to structure that first semester to where you're not taking as heavy of a course load, because you already have some of your credits completed and you can ease yourself into it without worrying about what your total timeline to completion is going to be.
Wonderful.
All right, the next slide.
Yep. It doesn't look
So
like
one last.
Oh, go ahead.
So one last piece that I wanted to touch on before we moved into the questions and the chat portal was when Dalila was talking about the difference between the humanities and social sciences. I think she gave a really important note there, which is that these are interdisciplinary fields. So when we're talking about things like career outcomes, it's going to be dependent on how you structure your coursework. As a student in the humanities and social sciences programs, you have an opportunity to really engage with the pieces that you find important, because you're structuring those electives or additional credits that you have to take around what your interests are. So you're able to walk out with something that's going to be reflective of what your career aspirations and interests are. And I think that's really unique to these programs. Other programs may box you in a little bit more by that they have direct professional certifications they're pushing you towards, whereas humanities and social sciences give you an opportunity to engage with the topics that matter to you. So it gives you the opportunity to also be able to create a career pathway that's not just based on things like certifications or that degree.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. It doesn't look like I have any questions that have come through the Q&A or the chat portal. We're happy to stay on for a couple more minutes if anyone who is attending now has any questions. We will stay on the line. If not, this is Chris's contact information. So if you can't think of something now, but you might have something that you're thinking about asking the next couple of days or weeks, feel free to email Chris or give him a call, and he will be happy to answer all of your questions. Oh, actually, we do have a question. Is there a master's program for psychology?
So the master's program for psychology is going to be taught by Newcomb Tulane. So Tulane School of Professional Advancement isn't able to offer a master's degree for that program. while there is coursework that is complementary to that field, you're not going to be engaging directly with that psychology. Something that we didn't mention earlier that I think is also important for students who are in the Gulf Coast region is we recently signed an articulation agreement with Delgado, and both humanities and social sciences associate's degrees are covered under that articulation agreement. So when you finish that AA at Delgado, you can pretty immediately go right on to SOPA, have your coursework transfer, and be able to hit the ground running. And I think that's really unique for the region because there aren't as many schools here within southeastern Louisiana who have that sort of articulation agreement right now, and that also are offering it at the cost level that we are. So Tulane SOPA's tuition is comparable to Loyola, it's comparable to Dillard, to Xavier, to all of the schools that are located locally. But one distinction there is you're walking out with that Tulane University degree. There's no commas, there's no semicolons, there's no but. It just says Tulane University. So for working adults, this is a really unique setting where you can come in, take on the coursework at your pacing and in multiple modes of communication, and then be able to leave with a Tulane degree that carries weight within the region.
Great. Alrighty, then. Like I said, if anyone has any more questions in the meantime, we will be sending out the contact information, but feel free to write it down here. You can also go to sopa.tulane.edu. That is where you will apply, as well as get any more information about the programs in our school in general. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. We really appreciated you taking your time out of your day during your lunch hour to sit down and listen to us. And that's all I have. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you, everyone. And please take advantage of the application waivers that are going on right now by using the code FREEDAY in all caps. I'm going to share that with the chat so that everyone can see it. But please take advantage of that, and you can get that process started with no cost from you.
Alrighty. Thank you all and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.